Alright, so welcome to another tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to make this design like this. So we'll just jump straight into Photoshop. So here's our text for the design. So go straight to Photoshop, click on New. We'll select this size. Remember we talked about this, that there are different sizes. This is a portrait size, so I'm going to use 4 by 5 in inches. So we can get the portrait size. So click on New Document. So what we want to do first is to set our new guide layout. Very important, so that we'll know what we are working with. Every design should have a guide so that you don't exceed this button. So your designs will look professional and you don't cut. Maybe when you're uploading on Instagram, you don't just cut it off, a vital part off. So first thing first, let's import our subject. So I'll make this image available for you in the description of this video. So once we import our subject, you see how nice the image is looking. It's well lit in terms of lighting, I mean. So this is how we position it. Probably reduce it a little. Then I would remove the background, very important. So select subject, then we'll allow Photoshop AI to do its magic. Alright, so it has selected the subject. So what we want to do is to mask it out. Right, so that has been done. Next thing we want to do is convert to smart object. Go straight to camera raw filter. Right, we want to make sure that this image is looking sharp, but first things first, we'll increase this texture because this is what I like doing, so it will look sharp. Probably 70. Let's just make it 70. Oops, what's happening? Sorry. Alright, so we have 70 here. Then clarity, let's see. I think something like this is good. 40 is good. Then we reduce the saturation. Yes, something like this is good. Or probably let's make this 50. Let's see what we have. Right, like it. So we close this. Then we want to add some highlights. Not too much, just a little. And let's reduce the light. Yes, something like this. This is just personal preference. You can leave it, you can go ahead with it. So then we want to add sharpness. Yes, very important as well. So just observe the image. When there was no sharpness, this is how it looks. So when you add sharpness, look at it. So now it brought out the details. We want to add noise reduction to make it blend. So reduce the sharpness a little so it doesn't look out of place. Right. So I think with that we are good to go. Let's zoom out. Let me just add a little bit of clarity again. Right. I think I'm okay with this. Nice. Right. So let's proceed to the next phase. Usually like to bring something like this to the bottom section, a white pad. Let's make the stroke, no stroke, then make it white. We'll work on that much later. Then we'll still bring another box, another square. The idea is to achieve a rectangle, I guess. Yes, so we need a rectangle. But now we don't know where the middle of this design is, so let's see if we can get the middle. Right, this is the middle. So we bring our ruler I did Ctrl arrow to bring the ruler. So yes, that is it. Right. Now we would move this to fit the line. Sorry. Where's the ruler? Bring it back again. What just happened? Okay. For some reason, Photoshop don't want to bring enable ruler. So this is the middle, yes. So we have a middle here. Then we turn this on. So we ensure that this is in the middle. You will get to understand why we are putting this in the middle much later on. Then we enter. Then we duplicate. Take to the other side. Okay. And this one. Right. So now we have the rectangle in the middle. So let's push this by this side. Okay. So what we want to do is to take it downwards to the back of the image. So I think with that we can take this off if we want. Here we want to change the color to blue. So look for a better shade of blue. Right. I think this is good. Then we change this to red. Looking for somewhat similar shades of that red or this red. So let's just go with this. Okay, nice. So the next thing we want to do is we want to import the text, not the text, sorry. We want to import the texture. So this is what we did here. By the way, I said I'm going to provide this in the description. So I made this, I duplicated this twice or 3 times. So bring another one down so that it would work seamlessly in the design. Then bring another one downwards. Right. So I think with that we are good to go. We just merge everything together. Merge layer. So then we have our texture or PNG. So now we're going to take this one to this other side. Right. So for this red aspect, for the blue aspect, we would create, for the blue aspect, we're going to use a blending tool. We're looking for the one that makes it white, I think. So I think this would work, linear, because that's what we did here. This would work. Then for here, would make do of an overlay, the one that kind of blends with the red. So yeah, so we have that sorted out. We just group everything. Red, and this is blue. So to be sure that everything is accurately aligned, we use our clipping mask. Click here and create clipping mask so that everything will enter into the blue. Then the red will just do the same thing. We create clipping mask so that the PNG would, or the texture would focus there. So the next thing we want to do is introduce light. If you notice in the design, there is light around this area, even on the model. So we just want to add it. So in this case, we would use our brush tool. We increase the size of the brush. So I'm using function F on my keyboard. I don't know what, probably yours might be different. Then I press X to change the foreground color. So you see, I want to use white so that I can portray. If I use black, I will not be able to get a better, and so I'll just place it. Now you can see that it's pure white. But once I change the blend mode now to overlay, this is what happens. So you see now, this is what we get when we use overlay. You see that the color is becoming better as opposed to before, right? So with that being said, I believe we've understood how to get this. Now we would want to put another one before the subject. That's because we want to add blue light in our face, like this section. Now there's a blue light here, then probably a touch of red. So what we'll do is we'll change the color. So you use your eyedropper tool, this one, pick this color, then you click on your brush, reduce the size, so you touch a little bit, reduce this opacity, don't want it too much. Then here you do the same thing, pick here, then duplicate, then use your brush tool, just a little bit, not too much. So that has been sorted out. The next thing we want to do is to bring our text. So we have how many texts here? Okay, so what we would do is we'd bring a box, right? So we'll make this black. So let's just put this in the subject. So let me just change this. Okay, I think that's perfect. So let's just make this background and convert to smart object. Once we do that, we want to go to camera raw. So what we are trying to do here is to give it texture, more texture. So click on effects, then zoom in, increase the grain effect. Just watch what is happening here. So if you zoom in properly, you see that we have that grain effect, but like this was how it was before. And we add the grain effect. 25 is okay. So I think with that we are good to go. So let's just add the text. So from my notepad, I have welcome to my kitchen. So I'm going to place it. I'm going to use this text. It's called Bebas, but let me just paste this first. And nope. Drag this up. Okay, so let's just take the kitchen off. So we use the font called the Barris. Right. So we'll make it white. Then we duplicate. Here we just change to kitchen. This is our color swatch. Right. So okay. I want to reduce the size of this. Okay, we're almost done. Remember, in your design you have to put alignment. Very, very important. Always ensure there's alignment, both text in your text section. So let's look at what we have here. So we're going to reduce this black box. Not too much. Right. So we move everything to the center. Right. Okay, let me just group this too. Then put it in the middle. Okay. While I'm still grouping, I need to move this kitchen downwards. Let there be a little bit of space. Right. So, okay. Still centralize again. Okay. So we're going to name this welcome to my kitchen. The reason why you're grouping is so that your files will be orderly. I've said this several times and it's really, really important. Right. So we move this down. The idea is to make sure that it doesn't touch this part. Right, so the next thing we want to add is the name of the chef. So we do this like this. So the color hen, okay, brought the right color. That's the right color we want to use. Okay, so let's just see. All right. Let's turn the background off. I don't think we did that for this. Okay, so I want to bring this part downwards. Then I just remembered that we're supposed to reduce this size of this stuff here. Okay. Okay, so we have that sorted out. The next thing we want to do is we want to add the text. That's the chef's name. So her name is Chef notch. Okay, so we would click on change the text to Poppins. I don't know why I like Poppins. And we paste it. So we do this stuff, bring it down, centralize, then probably reduce the size. Okay. Reduce the size of the text as well so that there will be spacing inside the box. So let's just make it 8 or probably 9. Okay. So right, so we are good to go. The next thing we want to add is a drop shadow. That's to create an effect that this box is hanging beneath it. So increase it, then distance, we need a little bit of distance. Don't need okay. I think with this we are good. So create another layer. Nope, sorry. We create we create another layer to separate the shadow from the box. Now in this case we transform it. We take warp our warp tool, then we move it like this. We just want to create that illusion that it's like a paper hanging, just like a label or something tag. Right, so I think we've been able to achieve that. We'll just reduce the opacity. No, let's leave the opacity, then let us add a little bit of blur, Gaussian blur. Okay, I think with this we are good to go. Okay, so we have achieved that. The next thing we want to do is we want to add the phone number of the chef. Right, so to achieve that, let's zoom out a little and see what we have done so far. Seems we've taken the background off the top, then the subject, we want to take the subject and want to move it downwards. Then we want to move this white overlay, we want to move it a little bit downwards. Yes, then for the chef, so we want to move this one downwards a little. Okay, so that being said, this is the white space here that is covering here. So what we'll do is to add our text. I'm going to write, let's make this black. Still Chef Notch. This is our Instagram handle. So paste it here. Reduce the fonts to medium. Then here there's a font we will use. I'll make it available. It's called that font. So we want to create FB and Instagram. So when you do it like this, you just go to a font called the font. Oh, it's called font 100. So look at it. We have gotten Facebook and Instagram right there. So we would reduce the size, then we duplicate and take it across to this part. I think here we just want to make it WhatsApp, so we type N for WhatsApp, then we type the phone number. So here we just type in this number, copy, and we paste. So I just want to ensure that everything is aligned. Then we move it downwards. Then okay, so we have gotten that aspect sorted out. The next thing we want to do is we want to duplicate so that we can achieve the middle section, which is this arrow here. So we would take this off, then we do press greater than. I think here in this case we would have to, I think I use Montserrat. Let me just change the font to Montserrat. Right. Okay, so I think with that we are done with the design. Just align them. Okay, right. So we just put contact information. Okay, so this is how you create design like this. This is how you create a design like this. So let's just add one more thing. I think we should push the subject up a little bit. Kick her up a little bit. Right. Then yes. I think everything feels good here. Okay, I think the only thing that we just need to change is the color. It doesn't look reddish as opposed to this one. This one look reddish. Okay, I think I've gotten the right color. So copy this, save, turn this off, turn this down, then we go back to this color, then we just paste. Okay, I think this color fits perfectly. Right. So the good thing about this design is that once you click here, you can still make corrections to this aspect. That's why it's good to group your design. So if I want to change this color now, I just put this. Okay, I just close this, close this. You see, do you spot the difference now? So I think with this we are good to go. So it's time to save the design. Let's export. Remember to set this. Always use maximum JPEG. Make sure everything is set around this area. Just look at my own, copy mine, so you get the best quality when you save your work. So that being said, you just click on save. Quick access. So we have completed task 2. So we'll say Chef Notch. Always use names that is related to your design, because so you can find what you design later on. So people just like designing and naming their files whatever they feel like. So once you're done, just click save, and with that